This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Polestar held its Polestar Day yesterday, where it laid out the company's plans and future technology. And it will finally be adding another car to its lineup when the Polestar 3 starts rolling down the line at a Geely plant in China early next year, as well as at Volvo's U.S. plant in South Carolina in the summer of 2024. The 3 will be followed by the Polestar 4, with production starting in the second half of 2025. The model will be made at Renault's plant in South Korea, which will be the first EV that plant has ever made. No word on how many examples it expects to build, but the plant has a capacity of 300,000 vehicles a year. This move comes from Renault's partnership with Geely, which I thought was mostly an ICE partnership, but it clearly will extend to EVs as well. The 3 and 4 are going to be followed by the Polestar 5, which is based on the Precept concept and also starts production sometime in 2025. And before we go on to the tech Polestar showed off, I just wanted to add a little side note that I think its naming is a little odd because the Polestar 4 will slot between the 2 and 3 in both size and price. Okay, on to the tech. The company says it's testing bidirectional charging with the Polestar 3. Specifically, it talked about setting up a virtual power plant that can look at the total battery capacity of all of its EVs that are plugged in, the demand on the grid, and then charge or discharge the batteries. Tesla has been doing the same thing with its stationary storage or power walls for years, and it's generated hundreds of millions of dollars for those that have opted into the program. Polestar is also working to bring more automated driving into the 4. It's partnering with Luminar for LiDAR and Mobileye for its chauffeur platform, which it says will allow for eyes-off, hands-off driving on the freeway and eyes-on, hands-off driving for other environments. And the last bit of news is a couple of battery deals. Polestar is working with SK On for high-nickel battery cells and StoreDot for its extreme fast charging technology for the Polestar 5. Instead of a traditional lithium-ion graphite anode, StoreDot replaces it with nanoparticles and other organic compounds to allow a battery to add 100 miles or 160 kilometers of range in just 5 minutes. And while Polestar was able to nab a new contract manufacturer in Renault, Fisker says it's still looking for other partners to help make its next models. Its current model, the Fisker Ocean, is produced by Magna in Austria, and it's supposed to have a deal to build a smaller crossover called the Pear with Foxconn in Ohio. But CEO Henrik Fisker says it's in talks with 5 traditional car companies to get even more production capacity. As of September, Fisker had only made about 5,000 Oceans, so it will be interesting to see if it can support building more vehicles. Yesterday, we reported that the UAW is going to target all non-union auto workers in the U.S., and it just received a big endorsement for that effort. President Biden said he, quote, absolutely backs the UAW's efforts to unionize Tesla and Toyota, and he said he wants all auto workers to receive the same deal the UAW just made with GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Biden made the remarks before a rally with UAW workers at Stellantis' plant in Belvidere, Illinois. Biden also supported the UAW strike back in September, joining the picket lines. But even with the president's support, it's gonna be an uphill battle. The UAW has unsuccessfully tried to organize the transplants and EV startups for the last 40 years, which is why Union President Shawn Fain said it's going to, quote, find creative ways to get to workers. BMW announced it's going to offer SAE Level 3 hands-free driving to its customers in Germany. The automated driving technology will be available in the new 7 Series starting next year and cost €6,000 or about $6,400. The system only works at speeds up to 60 kilometers an hour, or about 37 miles per hour on divided highways. BMW plans to roll the technology out to other markets, but it didn't say when it would do that. As you probably remember, Mercedes was the first automaker to offer Level 3 driving, which is also available in Germany, as well as California and Nevada. And like BMW's system, Mercedes Drive Pilot only works at speeds below 40 miles an hour. Electric vehicles are one of the fastest growing segments of the auto market, and because consumers aren't buying as many ICE vehicles, it's driving down the price of palladium, which is used in catalytic converters. Spot palladium is down 45% so far this year and is now at $943 an ounce, which is a 5-year low. A surplus is expected next year, which is causing the price to tumble, and if EV sales continue to grow, demand for palladium is expected to continue to drop. Earlier this summer, Proterra, a startup that made electric buses and battery packs, filed for bankruptcy because it was unable to reach manufacturing scale. And now Volvo Trucks will scoop up its battery business. The truck maker said it won an auction to buy the unit for $210 million as part of Proterra's Chapter 11 bankruptcy process. Volvo says it expects to finalize the deal sometime next year. Volkswagen wants to sell affordable electrics in the U.S. Instead of scaling back the number of EVs for the market, VW says it wants to offer an electric model for under $35,000 in the next 3 to 4 years. It would have to be built somewhere in North America, likely the U.S. or Mexico, and VW will also look to source the batteries from the region so the vehicle will qualify for IRA tax credits. Ford Trucks, the automaker's international heavy-duty commercial truck brand that operates in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, is partnering with a German company called Quantron to study fuel cell technology. Quantron's technology, including e-axles, high-power batteries, fuel cell stacks, and energy management systems, will be tested in Ford's F-Max vehicles starting next year. Ford Trucks is aiming to be zero emissions in heavy-duty truck production by 2040. It sounds like the Hyundai Group may be making a similar move as Toyota. It's opening the first of what it calls a smart urban mobility hub in Singapore. Basically, it will come up with new production methods and customer experiences. And one specific example, it says production methods will be significantly evolved from traditional conveyor belt manufacturing. And to me, that sounds very similar to how Toyota will have vehicles drive themselves down certain sections of the production line. No word on when Hyundai will start testing the system, but Toyota plans to launch it on its next-gen EVs in the next few years. Tesla isn't just opening up its supercharger network in the U.S. Car News China reports that GM and its Chinese joint venture partner SAIC are getting access to Tesla's charger network in China before the end of the year. EVs from Buick and Cadillac will be the first to be able to use them. While it's not as big as its network in North America, Tesla operates more than 1,800 supercharger stations with roughly 11,000 individual chargers in China. That brings us to the end of today's show and this week. Thank you for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. Borg Warner, propulsion solutions that support a clean, energy-efficient world. Scheffler, we pioneer motion. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
At Teijin Automotive Technologies, we combine world-class composite materials expertise with cutting-edge designs because, frankly, there are better ways to lightweight vehicles. So lighten up with Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.